As Kansas lawmakers try to decide how much money to spend on K-12 public education, a fight has developed between Republicans and Democrats over a phrase used frequently by Governor Sam Brownback.
That phrase prompted educators to turn their backs on the governor last week in Holton. KSNT News' Caitlin Berry breaks down one of the biggest disagreements at the State House.
Every year I've been in office, we've put more money in K-12.
As the governor talks about his education funding plan in meetings around the state, his primary argument for cutting some public education money from this year's budget is
the increase just isn't as big.
That, some say, is misleading.
Funding has been going up, but so have costs, so have the number of students that we're educating, and so are costs that the legislature really can't control.
Senator Anthony Hensley says that disparity comes down to one main issue. The state's base aid per pupil isn't keeping pace with inflation.
So we're far below where we should be in terms of the inflation factor.
According to the Kansas Department of Education, when the school funding formula was enacted in 1992, the base aid per pupil was $3,600. It peaked at $4,400 in 2008, and today it's dropped to $3,852. Hensley says if that aid was truly keeping pace with inflation, it should be closer to $6,000.
It's disingenuous to say that it's at the highest level now. And not just disingenuous, but really false that is the claim, because it's not true.
And which side of the argument state lawmakers believe could well determine whether the governor gets the overhaul of the school funding formula he's looking for. Either way you look at it, Senator Hensley says public schools are not getting the money they need. He believes the current school funding formula works when it's fully funded, and he'd like to get back to that point again. Caitlin Berry, KSNT News.
And late today, the state formally filed an appeal with the Kansas Supreme Court over school funding. The state wants the court to overturn a lower court ruling in December that Kansas has dramatically underfunded public schools for years.